Today's thought is self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, miracles starts happening. Good morning, students. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 8th, subject English. And this is my summary lecture. In this video, we are going to revise two chapters. One is from Honeydew book and another one is from P.C. Wren's grammar book. Dear students, today in this video we shall discuss our poem number 7, that is When I Set Out for Linus, which is written by Thomas Hardy and it is taken from Honeydew book. After then we shall revise our chapter number 18, that is Punctuation, which is taken from P.C. Wren's grammar book. Basically in this video we are not going to learn or read this chapter and poem in detail because we have already read them in detail. We shall just have a review of this poem and chapter in today's video. After then we shall discuss the homework solution of the homework which was assigned you in lecture number 1 of chapter 19, that is phrases. So let's start our revision with poem number 7, that is When I Set Out for Linus, which is written by Thomas Hardy and it is taken from Honeydew book. Before start reading the poem in detail, first of all let us see the introduction. The poem When I Set Out for Linus is about the poet's journey to an imaginary country by the name of Linus and his transformation after coming or returning back. In order to understand the poem, we must first understand its background. It is believed that Linus was a country that, according to Arthurian legend, that is King Arthur was near Cornwall, a country near England, before sinking beneath the sea. Hence, the poet imagines going to that city, or you can say country. The poet, who was an architect, went to supervise the construction of a church in Cornwall, that is Linus. Thus, the whole poem describes how the poet felt after coming back from Linus, or what was the change after coming back from Linus. So now let us read the summary of the poem in detail to know about this, what was happened with the poet in that country. Going for the restoration. In the first stanza, the poet says that when he set out for Linus, that is Cornwall in real, which was 100 miles away, there was rime, means frost, that is small ice crystals on the leaves and branches. The line gives an insight into the climate. It was winter season and thus chilling cold was everywhere. In poetry, winter symbolizes doom or sorrow or darkness. Hence, the poet seems to be hopeless. He feels lonely and the starlight, that is twinkling stars, or the light of which is very less, is his only hope. According to him, the twinkling stars lit means takes away his lonesomeness, that is loneliness. The poet repeats the first two lines. According to him, all this happened when he set out for Linus, which was 100 miles away from his home. The first stanza symbolizes hopelessness and a quest for something. Stay at Linus. In the second stanza, the poet wonders what would bechance means happen at Linus when he will sojourn means stay temporarily there. The lines depict that the poet is quite curious and excited about the visit. He feels that neither or neither prophet means here priest can durst declare means dare to tell, nor the wisest which means future teller, or you can say ghost can guess that what will happen in that country with him. Again, the first two lines of the stanza are repeated. According to him, he doesn't or does not know what will happen at Linus when he will stay there. The second stanza describes the poet's curiosity. He is thinking that something great and memorable will happen at Linus. The inner change. In the third stanza, the poet returns from Linus. He does not tell what exactly happened there. However, according to him, when he returned back from Linus, all the people marked means found that there was magic in his eyes. That is, his eyes were shining. They found that the radiance means glow and shine in his eyes is rare and fathomless means deep and profound. Thus, the poet seems to have achieved something which he was questing for. His hope is fulfilled. He has gotten something that has transformed him. Again, the poet repeats the first two lines of the stanza. According to him, all this happened when he returned back from Linus with magic in his eyes. So, this was the summary of poem. Now, let us see the conclusion of When I Set for Linus. The poem is a very insightful piece of work that tells us how things happen to us when we least expect them, and that no matter what we plan, there is another plan for us by God, which no one can predict. So this was the conclusion of the poem. So now let us revise our another topic or chapter, that is 18, punctuation, which is taken from P.C. Wren's grammar book. A question arises: what is the meaning of punctuation, or what is the meaning of punctuation marks? And how many kinds of punctuations are there? To know about it, let us read the definition of punctuation first. So let us see what is the meaning of punctuation. Punctuation means the right use of putting in points or stops in writing. Punctuation word is derived from the Latin punctum, which means a point, or we can say punctuation is a set of symbols used in writing to help indicate something about the structure of sentences, or to assist readers in knowing when to change the rhythm or the stress of their speaking. So now let us see how many types of punctuation are there. The following are the principal stops, or you can say types of punctuation. Number 1, full stop or period. Number 2, comma. Number 3, semicolon. Number 4, colon. Number 5, question mark. Number 6, exclamation mark. Number 7, apostrophe. as you can see, the sign of all these types also. But there are some other punctuation marks which are used commonly. These are number 1 dash, number 2 hyphen, which is smaller than dash, number 3 parentheses, that is called brackets, number 4 inverted commas or quotation marks, number 5 capital letter. So as you can see, the sign of all these types. Now let us read about all these types in detail. So first let's see full stop. The full stop represents the greatest pause and separation. Or we can say the main purpose of full stop is to show that a sentence has come to an end. It is used at the end of an assertive or imperative sentences. So now let us see what are the uses of full stop. Number 1 is it is used to mark the end of a declarative or an imperative sentence. So first of all, let me clear you what is the meaning of declarative or an imperative sentence. Declarative sentence is also called assertive sentence. A sentence that makes a statement, means simple statement, or assertion is called an assertive or declarative sentence. Assertive sentence ends with a period, or you can say full stop. To clarify it, let's see some example. Number 1. He goes to school. He likes to play chess. They are singing a song. So these are example of declarative sentence. Now let me tell you what is the meaning of imperative sentence. A sentence that expresses a request, command or advice is called an imperative sentence. For example, open the door. Please help me. So open the door is an order and please help me, it is a request. Number 2 use is whenever we have to search something on internet or we have to write email addresses, at that time we are using full stop. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, http://www.sshantgroup.com. So basically what mistake we are doing, we are telling every time dot. It is not dot, it is full stop or you can say period. Number 2 is e after then hyphen mail colon shant @vsnl full stop.com. So it is not dot, it is full stop or period. Number 3rd use is full stops can be used in abbreviations, but they are often omitted in modern British English. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, BA, or we can write down B full stop A full stop. We used to say dot, but it is not dot, it is full stop. Fine. So this is the abbreviation, means short form of Bachelor of Arts. Same with other examples also. Number 2, USA, or we can write down U full stop S full stop A full stop. Number 3, MP, or we can write down M full stop P full stop. Number 4th, AM, or we can write down A full stop M full stop. Both are correct, you can write down in both ways. Basically, but we are omitting now. The second type of punctuation is comma. So let us see what is the meaning of comma. The comma represents the shortest pause, or you can say the use of comma is really a very important mark of punctuation. It indicates the shortest pause, though it is the most important pause in the sentence. So now let us see the uses of comma. Number 1 is to separate a series of words in the same construction. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, he lost lands, money, reputation and friends. So as you can see that when we have to separate a series of words in the same sentence, at that time we used to put comma. So this is a small pause, or we can say smallest pause. Same with other examples also. It was a long, dull and wearisome. Wearisome means bored, tired journey. Number third, he wrote his exercise neatly, quickly and correctly. Number two use is to separate each pair of words connected by and, or we can say the comma is used when words of the same class or rank go together in pairs. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number one, we should be devout. Devout means deep religious feeling, and humble, comma, cheerful and serene. Serene means calm. So when we are using same class means the words of same class or rank together in pairs, after then we used to put comma. Same with another example also. Number two, in schools and colleges, comma, in fleet and army, comma, discipline means success. But note one thing, a comma is generally not placed before the word preceded by and. Number third use is after a nominative absolute. Nominative absolute means it is a freestanding absolute part of a sentence that describes the main subject and verb. It is usually at the beginning or end of the sentence, although it can also appear in the middle. Means basically it is showing the main subject and verb in the sentence. It can be in the beginning, middle or at the end of the sentence. To clarify it, let's see an example. This done, comma, she returned to the old man with a lovely smile on her face. Number fourth use is to mark off a noun or phrase in a position, means to show position. For example, Milton, comma, the great English poet, comma, was blind. Number fifth use is to mark off words used in addressing people. Means whenever we have to address someone, means people, at that time we are using comma. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number one, Gopal, comma, come in, full stop. Number two, come in, comma, Gopal, full stop. Number three, come in, comma, Gopal, comma, and sit here, full stop. So as you can see that whenever we have to address someone at that time, to take a small pause, we use to put comma. Number six use is to mark off two or more adverbs and adverbial phrases coming together in a sentence. At that time we are putting comma. Means whenever we have to separate adverbs or adverbial phrases in a sentence, at that time we used to put comma. To clarify it, let's see an example. Then, comma, at length, tarde means delay, justice was done to the memory of Oliver. Number seventh use is before and after a participle phrase, provided that the phrase might be expanded into a sentence and is not used in a merely qualifying sense. So first of all, let me clear you what is the meaning of participle phrase. A participle phrase is a group of words consisting of a participle and the modifiers and or pronoun, noun or noun phrases that function as the direct object or indirect object complements of the action or state expressed in the participle is called participle phrase. To clarify it, let's see some example. Being ignorant of the facts, comma, I could speak nothing. Removing his coat, comma, Jack rushed to the river. So means the participle phrase functions as an adjective modifying Jack. So here removing participle and his coat is direct object of the action expressed in participle. Number 8th use is before and after words, phrases or clauses let into the body of a sentence. Means just before or after words, phrases and clauses we used to put comma to separate them or to take a small pause. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. He did not, comma, however, comma, gain his object, full stop. Number 2. It is mind, comma, after all, comma, what does the work of the word, full stop. Number 3. His story was, comma, in several ways, comma, improbable. So as you can see that before and after words, phrases or clauses we have put comma to take a small pause. Number 9th use is to indicate the omission of a word, especially a verb. Means whenever we have to omit a verb, means when it is not necessary to write down at that time, instead of that verb we are putting comma. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. Rama received a pen, semicolon, hurry, comma, a watch. So here, instead of comma, if we will write down received verb, then it will be not appropriate. Then instead of that verb, we omitted the verb. Instead of that, we have written comma. Number 2. He was a Brahmin, semicolon, she, comma, a Christian. Same with another example also. To omit the same verb in the same sentence, we are omitting the verb and instead of that verb, we are putting comma. Number 10th use is to separate short coordinate clauses of a compound sentence. At that time also, we are putting comma. To clarify it, let's see some examples. The rains descended, comma, and the floods came. Number 2. Men may come, comma, and men may go, comma, but I go on forever, full stop. So, to separate short coordinate clauses of a compound sentence, at that time we are putting comma in between them. But when there is a conjunction in the sentence, at that time, sometimes we used to omit comma. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, he came and saw me. Number 2, the minstrel was infirm and old. Number 11th use is to mark off a direct quotation from the rest of the sentence. Or we can say a comma is used to separate the reported speech from the reporting speech in the direct form of the narration. At that time we used to use comma. To clarify it, let's see some example. Number 1, exactly so, comma, said Alice. Number 2, he said to his disciples, comma, watch and pray. Number 12th use is before certain coordinating conjunction we used to put comma. To clarify it, let's see an example. To act thus is not wisdom, comma, but folly. Folly means foolishness. Number 13th use is to separate a long subject opening a sentence from the verb. Means when a long subject is there, means a sentence is beginning with a long subject, at that time whenever we have to separate it from the verb, we used to put comma. To clarify it, let's see an example. The injustice of the sentence pronounced upon that great scientist and discoverer, comma, is now evident to us all. Number 14th use is to separate an adjective clause that is not restrictive in meaning but is coordinate with the principal clause. So first of all, let me clear you the meaning of an adjective clause. An adjective clause is one that does the work of an adjective. That is called adjective clause, and the meaning of clause is a sentence which is part of a large sentence is called a clause, and principal clause it is also called main clause. To clarify it, let's see an example. My uncle, comma, who is a surgeon, comma, has been to America several times. But when the adjective clause is restrictive in meaning, comma, the comma should not be applied. Whenever it is not restrictive, at that time we are used to put comma, but when the meaning of the adjective clause is restrictive, at that time we are not applying comma. To clarify it, let's see an example. This is the house that Jack built. Number 15th use is to separate an adverbial clause from its principal clause. So principal clause means independent clause or main clause, and the meaning of an adverbial clause means adverbial clauses are dependent clauses that modifies or give more information about a verb in the independent clause. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. When I was a bachelor, comma, I lived by myself. Number 2. If though wouldst, wouldst is the singular past form of will, be happy, comma, seek to please. But keep one thing in your mind: when the adverbial clause follows the principal clause, the comma is frequently omitted. To clarify it, let's see an example. Seek to please if thou wouldst be happy. Now let us see the meaning of the third kind of punctuation, that is semicolon. The semicolon represents a pause of greater importance than that shown by the comma. Or we can say the semicolon is used to indicate a greater pause than indicated by a comma. Now let us see the uses of semicolon. Number 1 is to separate the clauses of a compound sentence when they contain comma. To clarify it, let's see some examples. He was a brave, comma, large-hearted man, semicolon, and we all honored him. So whenever we have to separate the clauses of a compound sentence when they used to carry comma, at that time we put semicolon. Number second use is to separate a series of loosely related clauses. For examples, number 1, her coat was pure, semicolon, her life serene. Serene means calm, peaceful. Number 2, God gave her peace, semicolon, her land reposed. Now let us see the fourth type, that is colon. Let us see the meaning of it. Colon. The colon marks are still more complete pause than that expressed by the semicolon. Or we can say the colon is used when the pause intended is less than as indicated by the full stop but is greater than as indicated by the semicolon. Now let us see the uses of colon. Number 1 is to introduce a quotation said by someone. At that time we used to put colon. To clarify it, let's see an example. Bacon says, colon, reading makes a full man, comma, writing an exact man, comma, speaking a ready man. So here, these are the quotation said by or words said by Bacon. So just after Bacon says, we have put colon. After then, number 2 use is before enumeration. Enumeration means an enumeration is a complete, ordered listing of all the items in a collection or examples, etc. To clarify it, let's see some examples. The principal parts of a verb in English are the present tense, the past tense, and the past participles. So, whenever we have to show the examples, types of a particular subject or a particular topic, at that time we used to put colon. Means the following examples are, at that time at last we put colon. That it means that more examples are there related to that particular topic or particular chapter. Number third use is between sentences grammatically independent but closely connected in sense. At that time we used to put colon. To clarify it, let's see an example. Study to acquire is a habit of thinking, no study is more important. Now let us see the fifth type of punctuation, that is question mark. The question mark is used instead of the full stop after a direct question, or we can say that the question mark or the mark of interrogation is used at the end of a direct question and not an indirect question. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. Have you written your exercise? Question mark. Number 2. If you poison us, do we not die? Number 3. And if you wrong us, shall we not have revenge? Question mark. Or when are you going to Delhi? Question marks. So these all are direct questions. So with direct question, we used to put question mark at the end, but with not indirect question. And indirect question is, tell me who has entered the house. But keep one thing in your mind, the question mark is not used after an indirect question. It is already explained to you in the previous video. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, ask him why he did so. Number 2, tell me what you have done. Now let us see the meaning of the sixth type of punctuation, that is exclamation mark. The exclamation mark is used after interjections and after phrases and sentences expressing sudden emotion, or we can say the mark of exclamation is used after words or sentences which express a strong and sudden feeling. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. Hooray! Exclamation mark. We have won the match. So here the word hooray, it is an interjection, and just after the interjection, just to show the strong feeling or emotion, we have put exclamation mark. Number 2, what a piece of work is man. So whenever we have to show a strong feeling, what a beautiful garden is it. So at that time, at the end, we used to put exclamation mark. Now let us see the uses of eighth type of punctuation, that is apostrophe. Number 1, to show the omission of a letter or letters. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Don't. It is a short form of do not. I apostrophe ve. It is a short form of I have. Now, the second use is in the genitive case of nouns. Genitive means related to or denoting a case of noun and pronouns and words in grammatical agreement with them, indicating possession of close association. To clarify it, let's see an example. Millie's dress was beautiful. So here we are indicating, means whenever we have to show the position, means belongingness. So at that time we used to put apostrophe sign. So Millie's means we are referring to Millie's. Millie's dress was beautiful. Number third use is to form the plural of letters and figures, or we can say plurals of numbers and letters. At that time also we used to put apostrophe. To clarify it, let's see an example. Add 2 5s and 4 2s, or we can say like this also, his 7s and 9s look alike. Now let us see some other punctuation marks which are commonly used. So let us see the meaning of inverted commas. Inverted commas are used to enclose the exact word of a speaker or a quotation. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, inverted commas start. Beauty is truth. Inverted commas close, comma says kids. Number 2, the father asked his son, comma, inverted commas start, why are you so late? Question mark, inverted commas close. So, inverted commas are used to enclose a quotation or the words actually spoken by a person. So now let us see the uses of inverted commas. Number 1, if a quotation occurs within a quotation, it is marked by single inverted commas. To clarify it, let's see an example. The child said, comma, double inverted comma start. We often hear the teacher says, single inverted comma start, duty is worship, single inverted commas closed, and then full stop and double inverted commas close. But we can also use single inverted commas for the main quotation and double inverted commas for the quotation or the quotation within it. Now let us see what is the meaning of hyphen and uses of hyphen. The hyphen, a shorter line than the dash, is used to connect the parts of a compound word. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Sun hyphen in hyphen law, comma, tooth hyphen brush, comma, tug hyphen of hyphen war, etc. So we used to say son-in-law, toothbrush, tug of war. Remember one thing, the hyphen is also used to connect parts of a word divided at the end of a line. Now let us see what is the meaning of parentheses or brackets. Parentheses or double dashes are used to separate from the main part of the sentence a phrase or a clause which does not grammatically belong to it. To clarify it, let's see some example. He gained from heaven, in bracket we have written that was all his wished, bracket close, a friend. So if we remove this part which is written in the brackets, then he gained from heaven a friend. So this is the assumption that all he wished. It is not grammatically belong to it, but he is assuming it. So whenever we have to separate it, we used to write it in the middle of the sentence in the brackets because it is not grammatically belong to the sentence. Same with another example also. Papu, in bracket, I don't know his real name, bracket close, is very social. So brackets or parentheses are used for inserting a parenthetical sentence in the middle of a main sentence. Now let us see what are the uses of dash. Number 1, dash is used to indicate an abrupt. Abrupt means sudden stop or change of thought. To clarify, let us see an example. If my husband were alive dash but why element the past question mark. Number 2 use is to resume a scattered subject. To clarify it, let's see an example. Friends, comma, companions, comma, relatives, dash, all visited him. Now let us see what are the uses of capital letters. Number 1, to begin a sentence, or we can say first word of a new sentence begins with a capital letter. To clarify it, let's see an example. He is my cousin. So here we have written H of he capital because this is the beginning word of the sentence. Number 2 use is to begin each fresh line of poetry, especially old poetry. Number 3 use is to begin all proper nouns and adjectives derived from them. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, Delhi, Rama, Africa, African, Shakespeare, Shakespearean. So these all are proper nouns and adjectives which is derived from noun. Now, number 4th use is for all nouns and pronouns which indicate the deity. Deity means the god. To clarify it, let's see an example. The Lord, he is the God. Number 5th use is to write the pronoun I and the interjection O. We used to write them always in capital letter. So these all were punctuation marks. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapters summarized by me. And your homework is do assignment based on poem 7, that is When I Set Out for Linus of Honeydew book, and chapter number 18, that is Punctuation of P.C. Wren's grammar book, which will be uploaded on EduQuark under homework column. Students, you have to complete this homework in your English Fair notebook by following the correct format. Now in this video, we shall discuss the homework solution of the homework which was assigned to you in lecture number 1 of chapter 19, that is phrases. Students, I have already explained to you meaning, types of phrases along with examples in detail in our previous video. As I assigned you homework which was to be done by you on the basis of your understanding, and your homework was revise chapter 19, that is phrases, from the book or video, and based on the understanding of the topic or chapter, do exercises mentioned in the book P.C. Wren's grammar as page number 116, exercise number 1. Page number 117, exercise number 2, 3, 4 and 5. So now let us solve the exercise number 1 in detail, which is on page number 116. Question is, underline the noun phrases in these sentences. Number 1 is, his father wished to speak to the headmaster. So here noun phrase is to speak to the headmaster. Number 2, the wicked vizier loves getting people into trouble. So here noun phrase is getting people into trouble. Number 3 is, the poor debtor intended to pay back every penny of the money. Here noun phrase is to pay back every penny of the money. Number 4 is, he dislikes having to punish his servants. So here noun phrase is having to punish his servants. Number 5 is, horses prefer living in dark stables. So here noun phrase is living in dark stables. Number 6 is, I should hate to do such a thing. Here noun phrase is to do such a thing. Number 7, have you ever tried climbing a coconut palm? So here Noun phrase is climbing a coconut palm. Number 8 is thinking good thoughts precedes good actions. So here noun phrase is thinking good thoughts. So now let us see exercise number 2 in detail, which is on page number 117. Question number 2 is replace the adjectives in the following sentences by adjective phrases. So number 1 sentence is the rose is a very beautiful flower. So here beautiful is an adjective. Adjective means which modifies noun or pronoun in the sentence. It could be one word. But an adjective phrase is a group of words without a subject or verb that modifies a noun. So when we will change an adjective into adjective phrases, so first of all we should know the meaning of that particular adjective. So first of all we have to convert it into noun. Fine. And second thing, we need one connector, whether it is preposition or conjunction. So let's see how we can change it. Answer is the rose is a flower of great beauty. Same with other examples also. A courageous man does not fear danger. Answer is a man with courage does not fear danger. Number third is heroic deeds deserve our admiration. Answer is deeds of heroism deserve our admiration. Number fourth is much has been said about the Swiss scenery. Answer is much has been said about the scenery of Switzerland. So now let us see exercise number 3 in detail, which is on page number 117. So the question is replace the adjective phrases in the following sentences by adjectives. Number 1 sentence is some of the buildings in New York are of great height. So the answer is some of the buildings in New York are very tall. Of great height means very tall. So you should know the meaning first of all. Now number 2 is Nelson was a boy without fear. The answer is Nelson was a fearless boy. Number 3 is it was a sunset of great beauty. So the answer is it was a very beautiful sunset. Number 4 is nobody likes a person with a bad temper. So the answer is nobody likes a bad tempered person. Now let us see exercise number 4 in detail, which is on page number 117. The question is substitute adverbs with the adverb phrases in the following sentences. Number 1 is that boy works with energy. So here adverb phrases with energy. And the meaning of adverb phrase in form of adverb is, let's see the answer, that boy works energetically. Number 2 is I will be with you in a short time. The answer is I will be with you shortly. Number 3 is he suffered with patience. The answer is he suffered patiently. Number 4 is he met his misfortune with courage. So the answer is he met his misfortune courageously. Number 5 is I accept your statement without reserve. Without reserve means completely, totally. So the answer is I accept your statement completely. So dear students, when you will change phrases means whether it is adjective or adverb, you should know the meaning of that particular line or words. So now let us see exercise number 5 in detail, which is on page number 117. Question is frame sentences containing the following adverb phrases. Number 1 is at all costs. Sentence is he is determined to win at all costs. Number 2 is at the top of his voice. Sentence is he screamed at the top of his voice. Number third is in a hurry. Sentence is he went away in a hurry. Fourth is to my satisfaction. Sentence is Dr. Luthras proved that to my satisfaction. Number fifth is under lock and key. Sentence is her jewelry is securely under lock and key at the bank. Number sixth is for good. Sentence is it is better to fight for good than to rail at the ill or the ill. So sentences may vary. Students, note the important information. On Thursday, solution of assignment will be uploaded on EdQuark website. On Friday, test will be conducted and uploaded on EdQuark website as well as sent on WhatsApp groups. No video lecture will be uploaded on Friday. So that's all for today. This is the end of the lecture. Students, if you like our videos, then click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.